Sergeant Josh. Welcome to the Well-Rounded Warrior, and thanks for watching. Today we have a guest appearance from Dr. Carson. We're going to use his medical gear, specifically what he carries every day. We've already been through what I carry every day in my EDC bag video. So we're going to show what he carries, where he carries it, and why he carries what he carries. All right, you're on.
Alright guys, so we'll start off with the kit that I keep in my bedroom. This is in the nightstand farthest away from the door, next to an extra cell phone we have plugged in, just so we can call 911. It stays that way. It doesn't have service, but all cell phones can call 911 since 19 whatever. So anyway, this is there in case we need it. This is what we keep handy. Of course, you have your tourniquet on the top. These should be the most accessible thing in here, besides perhaps possibly gloves if you're going to treat somebody else. This being in the bedroom, I'm not so concerned about that. I'm already swapping DNA with that person. So that's there, easy to grab. I've got this stuck on here with a Ranger band, so you just grab this and rip it off. It will come right out, no problem. And that's how that's attached. This is the Blue Force Gear Trauma Kit Now, larger one. My buddy Tom hooked me up with this a few months ago. Thank you, sir. So as you pull this open, this entire package will slide out of the pouch. So this could be attached to your gear if you wanted to. I just kind of use it to keep everything handy. So inside of here, we go into our trauma stuff. This is not your inconvenience stuff like your aspirins and Tums. So starting off at the top here, of course you already went over tourniquet. You've got your hemostatic gauze. If you have to pack a wound, this should be the first thing in, so that it can start forming that clot directly against the bleed site. Following that, you could use your regular gauze. If you could have more than one of these handy, that would be awesome. Being in the bedroom, I've got t-shirts and stuff around if we have to do more than just these two.
So back up. So
Sure.
The hemostatic gauze specifically, the brand that you have is QuikClot. That's what everybody typically knows as QuikClot.
QuikClot's the big one. That or Celox, the two I'm familiar with. Either one of those is fine. If somebody has a clotting disorder, I would go with the Celox because QuikClot uses your body's natural clotting ability. So if that's already having an issue working correctly, you want the Celox, so it will form a clot independently of that. Cool. Yeah. Moving, so these are just held in by elastics. They're easy to get out, even with hands, whatnot. Most medical packaging also has pre-built tear sites in pretty much all around the packaging. From there, you go into your compression bandage. This is just a big H bandage. The plain one's got the big H in the center to help form that pressure spot directly over your wound, and then you can wrap that thing up to keep everything in place. It helps maintain the pressure of these inside the wound or any superficial wound by itself, so that clot can form and we can stop that bleeding. This, of course, will be after you've used your tourniquet. Moving down from there, if you needed some gloves, I've got some. Maybe you're working on your house guest, something like that. You're going to want to wrap those things up right before you tap it. One layer, not two. Latex doesn't rub well on itself, neither does nitrile. Moving forward, 28 size NPA. This fits 90% of the population. Help keep that airway open and keep that tongue from slipping too far back. Moving from there, I've got two decompression needles in here. Yeah, I am trained. Fuck off. So one's still sealed. This is the best one to have. It has the catheter on it, which you can leave in place to keep that hole open while you pull the needle out. If you don't have those, any 14 gauge needle at least 3 1/4 inch long will do the job. You just may get it clogged in there, in which case pull it out, blow that thing through and get back in there. Get training on these, guys. You need to know how to use these. And then finally, I've got some duct tape in here. This by itself or with the use of some of these plastics can form an occlusive dressing. So if you have anything up in that thoracic cavity you need to seal up, that's what we can use for that. This can also be used to secure your other things in place. So if you're going to move somebody and you've already got a tourniquet or a bandage on, tape that thing up if you have the options that'll stay in place during that movement. Okay, so that's kind of my first line. Being that it may be dark, I've also got a little chem light in here, just enough that I can find this thing, toss it to somebody, or that I can see up close if I need to before I can get that flashlight out. Moving on. And this thing also folds up on its own. You can just shut that up, do what you got to do. Moving forward from there is what I use on me as my daily carry. If I'm wearing pants, I've got this ankle kit that's in addition to these two tourniquets that are on me at all times. So one TK4 and one soft T wide.
Where did you get your ankle kit from?
This ankle kit is from the Tactical Medic. You can get that on Amazon or his store. It's usually in stock in the Amazon store. Riker Nylon Gear makes this. I've seen a couple different versions of ankle kits now, and this seems to be the most comfortable one. I like it. It also has an extender you can put in here if you have to wear over boots, something like that. So inside of this, what you're going to have first, I have these together because the first things I'm going to want to touch is a couple sets of gloves. This will come with one black set. They're extra large. I wear mediums, so make sure that your gear fits you. A couple sets of gloves. That's the one it comes with. There you go. All right, and then the tourniquet. This is a TK4L. Not my favorite clip in the world, but these work pretty well. If you have to, you still have the original one on the back side there. The L is for the leg. It's the longer one. They feel a little bit stiffer to me. I'm not positive on that, but that's my third tourniquet. Should I have this on? From there, you've also got your tape in there. This is backed on its own, which is kind of nice. So as you peel this off, you can pre-size it before you tear it, and then you can peel the backing off after that. So that's great when you're working with gloves, so that doesn't stick to them so badly. Next to that in the middle here, this is the part that I put in front of my shin that seems to fold well and shape to my leg nicely, so it's comfortable. Another decompression needle, same thing, H&H 14 gauge, 3 1/4 inches with the catheter. Again, get training on that. And then farther to the left here, I've got a C-Locks rapid ribbon. This is another hemostatic, so these both, you can get these Z-fold ribbons, wound up, whatever you want. They basically do the same job, so I don't really have a real preference. Like I said, if you have a clotting disorder, this is the one I would probably go with. So you also notice that this being an ankle kit, though it is much smaller in size, there's not as much of it. Okay. Additional gauze may be something you want to do. At that point, you gotta start thinking about tear t-shirts if you don't have that or whatever. And then finally, we have a little 4-inch. It's basically an Israeli dressing. It's just not the same packaging. Still has that same football-shaped field goal type clip in there. And these are all sized so that they will fit in here. You can buy this kit stocked with these things in it, and that's what I would recommend doing. Everything in here works, so stick to what's proven. Okay, so if I'm wearing pants, I've got the ankle kit on, and I would have one of these in each of my knee pockets. If I'm wearing shorts, all my shorts are cargo pockets. These both go to the right side, and they both stick together just like that. I usually have a rubber band around here to replace that. And from there, I would replace the ankle kit with this pocket kit. Basically the same thing, just a Ziploc bag. I've taken some of the similar contents and put them in here. So I've got my hemostatic agent, my combat gauze here, same exact stuff. I've got my decompression needle, a couple sets of gloves that fit me, and then some duct tape here. Again, using this and the duct tape alone of these together, I can create that occlusive dressing and treat those thoracic injuries. You'll notice that I do not have a compression bandage. Haven't found one that I'm happy with carrying. If I need to and I haven't used both tourniquets, you can use your TK4 as a compression bandage and spread that thing out with a few wraps. Get a similar effect. Alright, so there's my EDC. That's what I would carry on me. Moving on, if I am in my vehicle, a lot of times you come across wrecks, especially those of us that commute to work. This kind of just sits behind one of my back seats. Notably on the back, cardiac arrest, pretty easy thing to treat if you know how, so get some CPR training there. There's your face mask. I don't know you if I'm doing this probably, and I really don't put my mouth on yours, so this would be nice to have. A set of gloves in there as well. Okay, moving forward, eye protection. Again, if I don't know you, I probably want to cover my eyes up to keep yourself protected. I don't want AIDS, and I don't want to take that back to my family by trying to do the right thing, so there you go there. Outside, I've got some more tourniquets here, cat tourniquets, same kind we had over there. A couple, we call them buzz saws. I just threw these in there just in case you need a mark for a wreck, or if you end up down the ditch, you can toss it on the road, mark it for a fire EMS that's responding. Gives them something to see, and it's smaller than like a road flare. All right, backside, this does have a strap. This is not the ideal bag, but it's small enough to fit. So if I need to, you can strap this around your waist, or you can rip this thing open and throw it over a shoulder. You can use this to hang over a side view mirror or something like that, your rear view mirror, in case you need to work inside the vehicle. Same thing with this. This will clip over most rear view stems and hang there. Gives you a spot to work at. On the front, ever important is being able to see, especially if it's at night. So I've got a light on here. As soon as I grab this thing, I'm going to click this thing on if it's dark out. That way if I drop this bag, I can find it. Okay, that comes off. It can work with your thing. It's adjustable. Not a big deal, but something extra in case you lose it in your pockets or in case you're not carrying one for whatever reason. In the front here, bit of a pull tab for those to lock them in. I don't want to lose them. They don't really stay too well. Trauma shears, you got to get them naked to see what's going on. So that helps.
And we're not talking like, oh, I'm going to go to the doctor naked. We're talking like trauma naked.
Right. Everything that you suspect to be an injury needs to be exposed for you to treat it properly. Tourniquets can go over clothes. Everything else you pretty much need to be able to see to treat, and this is going to help you get there. All right, moving into the front pocket here, we have got our some smaller items. So 4 sets of gloves here, enough for me. Maybe if I'm riding with somebody, I can give them some gloves to help me work on that stuff. Emergency blankets, heat is life. If you start dropping off in your body temp, you are much more likely to sustain more injury or die. So keeping them warm, this can help with that, especially if you just cut their clothes off, right? Just gives something to dry to wrap up in. Still got those decompression needles and your alcohol wipes if you have them, and your duct tape. In here I do have dedicated chest seals. These are Halo chest seals. These are pretty cool. They come 2 in a pack. It's basically a big thick rubber sticker. These are awesome, and the cool thing about these is if your injury is small enough, you can cut one of these in half and cover both of them. Something like a entry exit wound, something like that, and they'll still maintain their integrity. They won't fall apart or anything. Okay, and inside here I've also got a couple safety pins. Again, just like the duct tape, good for securing things like your bandages in place before you start moving people around. So coming into our main pocket, this is basically my bleeding control. Again, we're going to see that ever familiar green package. Combat gauze, I've got 2 packs of that in here. And then I've also got 3 packs of your packing gauze, H&H band kind. Only difference between these is how they're packaged. You can get these flat packed, you can get them square, all kinds of stuff. They're vacuum sealed. You got to fluff them up before you can use them. In front of that, I've got several compression bandages. This is a cinch tight. This just has a big metal hook on the top. That's so you can put that directly over the wound. That's how it's going to crank back on itself to create that pressure once you've packed it if you need to. And then you've got your ever-present H bandages, a couple of these as well. These are good for a little bit smaller spot. They're also a little easier to carry because of their packaging. The H bandages you can get in 2 formats, I believe. You can get them nice and flat like this, and they also have one that's a little more bunched up. So again, that's for putting pressure on those wounds so we can get that bleeding to slow down that clotting process. Moving to this side, and I had to use a couple of these for classes, so I'm down to 1 now. One more NPA, again size 28, most common size we need. So if we need to use one, this will probably fit. I've had the luxury of putting lubricant in here, so now you don't have to spit on it, although sometimes that's a little more fun.
Your patient appreciates it.
Yes, blood doesn't work as well as you might think, but it's an option. All right, and then finally over here, just some kind of nice to haves. A little bit of med tape, kind of keep things out of the way, tape up small lacerations, whatever. And then some ace bandages here. These are the old school kind. These have latex in them. Big deal. If we're going to wrap you up, you're probably in worse shape than worried about getting a little bit of a skin rash. These are nice to have just for, once again, you can use these compression bandages if you tighten them up. You can do a flip right over the spot so it narrows it up, and then I'll get more pressure there. And that's it for my vehicle kit.
Very nice.
Oh yeah. And then finally, of course, you got your go-to-war stuff. So this sits next to the bed. If I have the luxury of time enough to put this on, I've got some ammo. I've got a tourniquet over here on the side. These pouches sit pretty deep, so I got kind of a pull tab on here. And in there, I've got another soft T wide. These are the cat. I don't really care which one you have. They both work equally well, I believe. Nice thing about these is you get these much flatter if you do want to pack them in a pocket and then wrap the rubber band around them. So these are pretty awesome. And then finally over here, this is an SOE stacked micro rig. I love these tear off med pouches. These things are awesome. So sorry for kicking the camera. On here, we would remove that, and then it's still attached by Velcro. So this is nice in case this gets popped open. You don't have to worry about it. Or when you go to put this back on, you don't have time to secure this. It's still going to stay in place. I've run drills with this off. It works fine. So Somali on the side, I've attached a little strap cutter here. These work for clothes and such once you get the cut going. So you can just drag these through, rip those pant legs open, etc. Once you open these up, again, it's just those basic supplies. So right here in the front, what we got? Gloves. Tourniquets are on the outside, so if we need gloves, they're here. Duct tape right there, it's kind of where it fits. Again, more combat gauze. This stuff is awesome. Another H bandage underneath. Okay, on the side here, we've got our decompression needle and another size 28 NPA. And then back here, if we need more gauze, I've got 2 packs of that stuff in here as well. And you can fit more things in here if you need to. This is basically enough to treat 1 serious gunshot wound. So if you need more than that, you better get this quad corpsman up there because you got work to do. But these are cool because if whatever you use is already out of the way, whatever's left, you can simply close this thing up real quick, slap it back on the front of your rig, and go take off, do what you got to do. That thing's going to stay out pretty good. So that gives you some leeway to start moving back, using your hands again. That's pretty much it, unless you want to start expanding to some other things like IVs and all. But these are the basics that pretty much anybody can learn how to use in 2 or 3 day class. And I really don't see any reason somebody shouldn't have this. Even if you don't know how to use it, somebody that shows up at the scene may. You can hand it to them and they can get to work.
All right. Well, we'll check out what I got on my go-to-war rig. All right, so this is what I run. This is a an SOE micro rig in Woodland. No, you cannot buy this. It's kind of ragtag mixed together stuff, but it's what I got. It's a work in progress, put it that way. So this is built. It's attached. It's not detachable. But what I have stuffed in it, if I'm ever, in theory, you can take what I'm about to take out and stuff a box of shotgun shells in there. But I like to keep medical in it, so this is what I have. Tourniquets, first thing to come out, and then behind it we got a rag, just to have handy. This is actually U.S. Army IFAC. This was an expired one that I came across. Nice thing about it is it's tethered. So you open it. It's really, really, really basic. What do you know? MPA 28. Gloves.
We're seeing a theme here.
Yeah, a lot of the same stuff. Fixes a lot of the same stuff. Tape. H&H compressed gauze bandage. And NSN. If you are in a unit, you need to order it. Some alcohol wipes. I don't know. Whoa, look. Oh, there's the gloves. And some trauma wound dressing.
Oh, look.
I actually have one of these in my everyday go bag, in my Woodland SOE tool bag that you also cannot buy. So mine's real basic. I pick up stuff as I go. It seems like more of it goes in my bag, like other tourniquets and gloves and gauze, and I've got more gauze and stuff that's not on here, that's just in a bag that I would carry. So like I said, mine's not as all inclusive as Carson's, but he has a lot more training than I do, so he knows what to do with that stuff more so than I do. But that's no excuse. Even if I did have it and didn't know what to do with it, I could always give it to somebody that does. So let that be a lesson to you. All right, guys. Well, I hope you learned something, got a little less dumb. Special thanks to Dr. Carson for helping us out with his gear. Is there anything you'd like to add?
I just want to hope that shows you how easy it is to carry medical around every day. At a minimum, put a tourniquet in your pocket. It's not a big deal. You're far more likely to save a life than you are to take one. Absolutely.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Just remember, when avoidance, deterrence, and de-escalation fail, a high rate of fire usually doesn't. Thanks, guys. Like a pirate.